What's up everyone, Sean here, and welcome to a very special episode of the Hawke Talks. I say very special because of the topic itself regarding the Nintendo and YouTube. Man, I don't know where to start, but I remember back in the day, there was a time where we just uploaded a bunch of videos to YouTube. We were with Nintendo and including myself with the We Have Fun series. That was like that's like probably the most well-known thing about this channel, and probably a lot of you guys are coming from this, but from that era of the channel, and of course that featured Nintendo party games, some of the niche ones, but Mario Party as well, and Mario Kart, etc., etc. But there was a time where Nintendo on YouTube went and claimed a lot of the videos, including mine, and they claimed 100% of the revenue. Even though the creator or the content creator put their own input and stuff like that, including especially with like game reviews and all that stuff, and a lot of people didn't like it. Nintendo got a whole lot of backlash from that. And a lot of people were very vocal about that, including myself.
You're putting your voice, your time, and your effort into these videos, and these videos are out there to endorse why these games are fantastic to play. I'm definitely not okay having that revenue getting taken by Nintendo completely, and I get nothing out of it.
This was very much an annoyance to my channel at the time, so that's why I came to the decision of just not doing Nintendo stuff only, and this is solely the reason why. So that's why I went to all the other genre or other companies of video games, just to keep the content going without any annoyance. But now, or before then, excuse me, before the topic we're going to talk about here, along those lines, there was the Nintendo Creators Program. They tried to make this their answer to compensate with the creators, try to kind of meet halfway in a way, but it really wasn't halfway. It was like a pretty big split, and it was pretty much like mostly going to them, I think, and the creator kind of got a little bit of it. So, and also the fact that the way you sign up, the process, and the list of games that were allowed to be in this program were very short. There were a lot of games still missing at the time, and the list looked really weak. So in the end, it really did not work out for both parties. But now, as I switch to the next screen here, lo and behold, Nintendo will be ending the Nintendo Creators Program at the end of 2018. Now, what makes it so special? So I clicked on the article, and this article kind of summarizes the next thing I'm about to show you guys, which leads to here. This is the official guidelines and upcoming little statement, I guess, for whatever is coming to YouTube and other platforms such as Twitch. So this is called the Nintendo Game Content and Guidelines for video and online video and image sharing platforms. I'm gonna read the whole thing, and I read ahead just to make sure, and I'll give you my thoughts about it after. So I'm gonna read you the entire article here, and it's not that long, but it's pretty important. So it says here, we are humbled every day by your loyalty and passion for Nintendo's games, characters, and worlds, and respect that you want to be able to express yourself creatively by sharing your own videos and images using content from our games. As long as you follow some basic rules, we will not object to your use of gameplay footage and or screenshots captured from games for which Nintendo owns the copyright, and this is going to be referred as Nintendo game content throughout this throughout these guidelines. And the content you create are for appropriate video and imaging sharing sites. To help guide you, we prepared the following guidelines. So this is like the juicy part. So here we go. First bullet point here. You may monetize your videos and channels using the monetization methods separately specified by Nintendo. Other forms of monetization of our intellectual property for commercial purposes are not permitted. This statement will be more specified, so that's more specified in the FAQ guidelines. Or the FAQ, excuse me. So let's go with the second bullet point. We encourage you to create videos that include your creative input and commentary. Videos and images that contain mere copies of Nintendo game content without creative input or commentary are not permitted. You may, however, post gameplay videos and screenshots using Nintendo system features such as the capture button on Nintendo Switch without additional input or commentary. So in other words, if your gameplay is original, it's not from the gameplay trailer, it's not one-to-one with that at all. It's coming from straight from your Elgato, or your screenshots come from your Nintendo Switch, then you are definitely fine, and you are in the clear. All right, so next bullet point. This one's pretty interesting too. You are only permitted to use Nintendo game content that has been officially released, or from promotional materials officially released by Nintendo, such as product trailers or Nintendo Directs. So, this is really interesting because a lot of people love to do reactions to trailers and stuff like that, character reveals, you name it, including the Nintendo Directs. People love to do this kind of stuff. So people like Etika and all the pro Smash players that like to do these videos are probably going to be really liking this bullet point, because that means you can pretty much react to these videos, as long as, of course, released by Nintendo themselves, official material, that kind of thing. It also means some bad things, but I will get to that later when we get to the FAQ. But for the reaction YouTubers, I guess, who love to do this kind of stuff, this is great news. This is absolutely great news, and you can not you don't have to worry about the any strikes or anything like that. As I think, if you want to ensure that doesn't happen, just make sure your face cam is the majority of the screen, and then you have the direct like on a smaller screen. Then for sure, I think you're fine with that. Let's see. Next one is right here. If you want to use the intellectual property of a third party, you are responsible for obtaining any necessary third-party permissions. So basically, you just gotta deal with third-party stuff if it's not Nintendo stuff and blah blah blah. I think it's pretty clear. As long as you're kind of responsible with that, then you're fine as well. Next bullet point, second to last one. You are not permitted to imply or state that your videos are officially affiliated with or sponsored by Nintendo. Pretty clear here. If you're not actually affiliated with Nintendo or sponsored by them, don't say so. Alright, next bullet point, or the last one, says, we reserve the right to remove any content that we believe is unlawful, infringing, inappropriate, or not in line with these guidelines. Please understand that we will not be able to respond to individual inquiries regarding to these guidelines. Also, we may update these guidelines from time to time. Please refer to the latest version before sharing your content. So, of course, this isn't perfect or anything like that. There will always be tweaking around with this. But I think for the most part, from what we are seeing here, this is very promising. This is like kind of a step in the right direction, in my opinion. And we can, even further clarify with these, with the FAQs right here. So let me go through these questions and answers. So first question: what types of content are acceptable under the guidelines? what types of content are not acceptable. And the answer for that one is, we encourage you to use Nintendo game content in videos and images that feature your creative input and commentary. For example, Let's Play videos and video game reviews are within the scope of the guidelines. However, you may not simply upload or stream an existing Nintendo video gameplay footage without your own creative input or a copy of content created by someone else. For example, mere copies of Nintendo promotional trailers, tournaments, music, soundtracks, gameplay sequences, or art collections are outside the scope of the guidelines. So as long as, like I said, as long as it's not a one-to-one re-upload of the trailer, you have your, as long as you have your reaction in there or some sort of criticism or something like that, I think you're okay. But of course, soundtracks, gameplay sequences, art collections. But when it comes to that, I think art galleries in the game and you providing your own critique and stuff like that, you reacting to it, I think that's okay as well. As long as it's like just, if it's like just the art collection and not your commentary, then I think that's not okay. So I think we're pretty clear on that. So next question. Do the guidelines only cover video uploads, or can I live stream my videos as well? The answer is yes, the guidelines cover both uploads and live streams. So basically, YouTube and Twitch are definitely fine. Next question. What do you mean by appropriate video and image sharing websites? The answer is we generally accept most commonly used video and image sharing platforms, such as, but not limited to, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. However, we reserve the right to remove any content that we believe is unlawful, infringing, inappropriate, or not in line with the guidelines. Next question. Let's see. What exactly are the monetization methods separately specified by Nintendo? So that was the early sentence from, or early bullet from before, as referred to the guidelines. Currently, the monetization methods separately specified by Nintendo include the following. Facebook, with the gaming creators and level up program. Nico Nico, whether it's Dogo or Live. Nico Nico Creators Program or channel. OpenRec.tv, OpenRec Creators Program. Twitch, with their affiliate program or partner program. Twitter, with their Amplify publisher program. Or YouTube, with their YouTube partner program. So let's go back to this first bullet point right here, and it says you may monetize your videos and channels using the monetization methods separately specified by Nintendo. So they mean separate because it's, you know, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, stuff like that. So it is separate from Nintendo, so that's why they refer to it that way. So this is okay, which means definitely these three, especially with YouTube, is definitely okay. The next question. Can I sell content that I create or upload or live stream on a sharing platform if it includes Nintendo game content? And the answer to that is no, you may not sell any videos, music, or images that you created using Nintendo game content. So kind of straightforward. Obviously, you probably can't, like, you know, sell soundtracks by Nintendo or, you know, promotional trailers or something like that. I think even when you have your own creative input, I think it's as long as just for ad revenue and within YouTube guidelines and stuff like that, and also within the guidelines of other platforms that were specified, and etc., etc. So yeah, as long as you're not directly selling them, then I think you're fine. Now, when it comes to fan art, here's a question here. Can I create, upload, or live stream content that is based on other Nintendo intellectual property outside of gameplay footage and screenshots, such as fan art? The answer to that one is the guidelines only cover the sharing of Nintendo game content on appropriate video and image sharing sites. Any other use of Nintendo's intellectual property and creation of content outside of the scope is subject to relevant laws of the applicable jurisdiction. Nintendo cannot provide legal advice to you, so we encourage you to seek your own legal counsel if you have any questions about whether you are particular or whether your particular proposed use is permitted. So, it kind of does confuse things when it comes to selling fan art that features Nintendo stuff. I think for the most part it's fine as long as it's made by your own hand. It's not just like this official, artwork of Mario slapped onto like a shirt that you sell on like TeePublic or something. That's absolutely not appropriate. But when it comes to art that's created by your hands, then I think you're more okay on that. But because people do it at conventions, artist alleys and stuff like that, and even before all this. So, and I don't think Nintendo has said anything about it. So I think you're still okay, definitely. So as long as, again, it's made by your own hand and it's not just copy and pasting, official artwork that was done by Nintendo or someone affiliated with Nintendo, then I think that is completely fine. Again, as long as it's made by you directly. Let's see. Next question we have is, what if I record someone playing an unreleased game at a public event such as a gaming expo? And the answer to that one is, please keep in mind that most public events have filming guidelines, and you are responsible for following those guidelines. If you're unsure, please check with on-site staff before uploading or live streaming your video. We also reserve the right to remove any content that we believe is unlawful, infringing, inappropriate, or not in line with the guidelines. Again, with this statement here. Don't worry, they'll clear things up later on. But yeah, basically, to clarify things, you just gotta check on the website of whatever convention you're going to, like Gamescom or E3 or something. And since E3 is kind of open to the public now, I guess, and other conventions, just whatever, just make sure you know the rules and stuff like that before you start recording and all that. And just check with the Nintendo staff that are present at whatever convention. Ask them, make things clear for yourself, and then proceed with whatever you want to do with it. Now here's a pretty big one right here. This question here says, I am planning to host a gaming tournament using Nintendo video games and upload or live stream a video of that tournament on the applicable video and image sharing sites. Are these activities subject to the guidelines? The answer to that is uploading and streaming Nintendo game content from a Nintendo authorized or licensed tournament is within the scope of and subject to the guidelines. However, hosting a tournament is a separate activity that is outside the scope of the guidelines. So, if you, let's say, don't have the license to do this, then you are not allowed to do this. Yes, the tournaments are separate activities, but I think for the most part they're okay as long as they have the appropriate requirements met, like having a license, getting authorization from a Nintendo, etc., etc. So all your favorite tournaments and stuff like that, as long as they follow the rules, I think they're fine. Next one is, under the guidelines, can corporate entities upload or live stream videos and screenshots using Nintendo game content? The guidelines are only applicable to individual consumers using Nintendo game content. So these rules and guidelines here are more addressed to people like myself, and probably you guys too, watching this, or just everyone else who uploads Nintendo content, really. So that makes sense. Otherwise, companies have to talk to each other and strike a deal or whatever they want to do, and then they properly distribute the content that has Nintendo stuff in there or whatever it is they want to do with that. All right, next one, second to last one here. It says, will there be cases where Nintendo will remove content from sharing platforms? Yes, we reserve the right to remove any content that we believe is unharmful, infringing, inappropriate, or not in line with the guidelines. In some cases, Nintendo may take down videos on behalf of our third-party partners. Pretty clear here. Sometimes third-party developers and partners may want to, change things up, or something happened to where they don't want their videos or they don't want their content being on YouTube or whatever. Nintendo will respect that and they will proceed accordingly. Now, here we go. With the last question here. What do you mean by content that is unlawful, infringing, or inappropriate? And the answer to that one is, examples of unlawful, infringing, inappropriate content include, but are not limited to, content that incorporates Nintendo intellectual property and violates applicable laws, infringes the intellectual property rights of Nintendo, and or features pirated Nintendo software. This is kind of big here because this may include Smash games with mods in them. With all those costumes and stuff like that, those really neat skins and soundtracks and whatever. I think those videos are subject to or considered as pirated software. I could be wrong. Please correct me in the comments. But this definitely includes the Pokemon game that the fan made. This includes the Metroid game that a fan made. And Nintendo, they went and took down those games. So they really don't want those games to be featured. They really don't want any crack of the code kind of thing on their Nintendo Switch. People modding freaking Smash Ultimate. So I don't think Nintendo wants to see that, unfortunately. But guidelines may change. I mean, like it says here, it may change. So it looks like it's not safe for modded games, but again, we'll see about that. So, but so far, I think this is looking great, and it's a right, looking like a step in the right direction, in my opinion. This is, seems like to me, Nintendo is really addressing the problem with YouTube and all the backlash they got from all those years ago, and now it seems like they're really responding with a pretty good guidelines set for us by the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019. So from there on, looking pretty good for us. Now we can finally just put out Nintendo content without any worries. It seems like we can see more reviewers doing this kind of stuff again, and also maybe people doing it first time. Really cool, right? So for the most part, I think we're pretty good, other than mod games and maybe some fan art may meet some gray areas. But yeah, again, otherwise, for the live streamers, for the content creators, pretty good, right? Pretty good. I am really excited for this. This is a really big change. And Nintendo definitely has my support on this. I know this is like a starting set for guidelines, and it may change in the future. Hopefully they don't mess things up. And hopefully, of course, they execute it right. And hopefully we don't see any claims from them from this point forward. So, but again, it's looking pretty bright for that side of Nintendo. Nintendo still has some other things to work out, but when it comes to YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that, we pretty much don't have anything to worry about that is big. So that's pretty much it for me. I think again, overall, this is a great step in the right direction from Nintendo, and we're really looking forward to it. And if you have any comments or anything like that, leave them down below. Love to read them, and also if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscription button. Of course, if you want more videos like this, and if you want to further support the channel, I do have a Loot Crate sponsorship and a Into the AM sponsorship as well. Both have links to the website with my name on it, stuff like that. So click on that and use the promo code Hawke525 for both of those sites, and you'll get a discount Really helps out the channel and really helps out definitely with you as well. You guys really want some Loot Crate stuff or into the game stuff, both gaming related stuff. So awesome. And if you want to, you know, do something else, you know, I do have a Twitch channel. I stream stuff there, especially with like Pokemon Let's Go right now, and maybe of course Smash Ultimate and stuff like that, and all the featured Nintendo games. And that Nintendo uplifted a lot of these restrictions and stuff like that. So this is looking really awesome. I do have a Twitter and all that stuff. It's in the description below, and check them out and stuff like that. So. Again, this has been the my thoughts and analysis on Nintendo's new policies when it comes to YouTube and Twitch and all that fun stuff. So looking really good, and they are shutting down Nintendo Creators Program officially on March 2019, I believe. You can correct me on that. But they're not taking any more submissions, so please don't bother, because they're already gonna let you do that on YouTube itself anyway. So don't worry, don't sweat it, and don't have to worry anything about Nintendo Creators Program. It'll be a thing of the past officially now, and things are again looking bright for Nintendo and YouTube. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Sean out.